morning, good morning. Hey, today I thought I'd talk about knowledge versus action. So you've probably heard that cliche that knowledge is power. And for sure, knowledge over ignorance is a distinct advantage, right? Could give you power. But the real advantage for power is action. And so what I'm encouraging us all to think about this morning is how many things do you know you could be doing, you know how to do, you have the information, you have the knowledge, but you don't put them into action, right? So if we stay with the cliche that knowledge is power, we leave almost everything on the playing field unless we add, well, knowledge maybe is potential power, but what real power is action. Consistent action, right? Compounded, consistent action. That's power. And how do we go from knowing how to do something, knowing we could, knowing we should do something, to actually doing it? How do we transfer knowledge into action? Motivation. That's the simple answer, folks. So if you want a cliche, motivation is power. Motivation gets things done. Motivation translates knowledge into action. But it's distinct actually from both of them. So motivation isn't knowledge, doesn't have anything to do with knowledge. And motivation isn't action, doesn't have anything to do with action. Motivation is its own independent distinction. What is motivation? Well, it's that internal conversation that has us lean in all the way in with a green light vision to do what it is we know we need to do what maybe we're afraid to do. So fear is just a conversation, right? It's a story. Well, I'm afraid if I do that, it's going to hurt. I'm afraid if I do that, I'll fail. I'm afraid if I do that, people will laugh at me. That's just a story. That's a red light story. Motivation is a green light story, which sounds like if I do that, I might win. If I do that, I might contribute. If I do that, I'm one step closer to my goal. If I do that, I'm in the process of achieving my goal. It's just a different story. So when we change our story, which takes the catch-22 of motivation, is you actually have to be motivated to get motivated. Right? So as I'm talking about all this, you guys are all like, oh, yeah, I know all about motivation. I've heard about that. What's going on there? You have the knowledge of motivation, but you don't have the action of motivation. How do you get the action of motivation? You got to get motivated. How do you get motivated to get motivated? Kind of a catch-22, right? That's why so few people do it. It's the holy grail of success. How do we create a story and lean into action when we're out of action and when our story's different? How do we create that momentum? How do we create that first step of, maybe writing down our values, writing down some affirmations, visualizing a different story? How do we take that first step? Well, that might be one of the greatest mysteries of success. Is we know how to create motivation. It's all done through vision. But how does somebody who's not motivated get motivated? Think about it. It's a conundrum. It's a catch-22. And it's probably why so few people just dive in, like take a book like Mach 2 or a video course like Mach 2 and study it until they've mastered it, and then just become the distinction action. Why do so few people do that? Because they're not motivated to do it. Now, they may buy the book, right? They kind of buy the book out of cultural obligation, right? Probably buying the book out of, well, that cliche, knowledge is power, I better buy this book, right? And what do most people do with any book they buy? They put it on their bookshelf. It's a badge of honor, but they never read it, or they read it once, and in which case they can't remember 90% of what they read. So how do you read it 5, 6, 7 times? How do you do a book study with it? Anything, not just Mach 2, anything, right? Special people. So success is reserved for special people, but the cool thing about it is anybody can join the group. Any one of you can join the group. You guys probably know I used to work in a chicken plant for $3 an hour. So if I can transform, you can transform. Take the first step. Start doing some affirmations. Start thinking about a green light vision. Start moving towards action. Maybe even away from knowledge, towards action. Have a bias for action today. You want to drop something in the comments? Tell me whether you're watching live or the replay. Tell me where you're from. I'm always fascinated with where people are from. And tell me what you're building. Anything you're building. Tell me what you're building. I'm always curious about that too. Hello, Amy. Yeah, welcome back. Hello, Julius. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.